So, what's going on, guys? This is Brian Pickowicz here at BP Fitness, and so I'm doing a Q&A today for the vlog. I'm not going to do the typical vlog, but I wanted to post something, and I wanted to really get back to a lot of people who had gone back to one of the questions I asked on Facebook. Essentially, I'm going to treat this as a Q&A, and I'm going to try to cover about 5 questions because I don't want this to be like a 30-minute thing, but I wanted to give people some different aspects of fitness that, you know, I can't necessarily always dive into right now because of contest prep and being 6 weeks out and things like that, but I can certainly kind of touch upon it based off of what I usually do. Obviously contest prep is a little bit different than lifestyle stuff, but I think that they kind of meld together in some way, shape, or form. So the first one came from Wendy Scott, and the question was, how do you essentially adapt a mindset to accomplish what you want to? And some of these I'm going to ad-lib because they're kind of fragmented, but I think when it comes to mindset, it comes down to goals, and you have to understand what you're trying to accomplish. So if you don't have a goal attached to what you're trying to do, if you don't have something that's actually inspiring you to do it, then it's going to be really hard to develop the mindset to do it. There's really, are you being pushed to do something? Meaning like, I'm going to not eat cake. That's not really rewarding as to I'm going to be pulled to do something, meaning that I'm going to be inspired to go to the gym to get healthy. As a byproduct of that, I'm not going to eat cake. There's different aspects of mindset that kind of come into play, but you really have to have an understanding of what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to attack. And I think from there, building a plan around that is where you can succeed. The next one is kind of similar, how to get started, and I think that getting started falls right into that, so kind of jump over that. Jimmy Velez, different workout methods according to different body type and metabolism. So I don't think that, so you have mesomorph, ectomorph, and endomorph depending on what your size is. Now, you guys can Google those on your own, but it really comes down to doing the things you like. So I don't think that certain people necessarily have to eat certain foods in order to get certain results. I think that everyone's workouts, everyone's lifestyle should dictate what they're, doing in the gym or what they're eating outside of the gym. It kind of comes down to what you like. I think that you have to train the way you like. You have to do things that you enjoy. So if you like doing CrossFit, go do CrossFit. If you like bodybuilding, go do bodybuilding. If you like doing the certain aspects of, just cardio, and that means you do spin class, there's no wrong answer. It kind of comes down to individualizing around who you are. I think that body types and things like that are just kind of like a sales gimmick. I think that genetics plays a huge role in starting out where you begin, but I don't think that it's going to be a massive indicator of what you should be eating and when you should be eating it. I think that there's some core principles that everyone should follow on that. Ashley Orgadowski, I almost said that one wrong. Veganism, and essentially how do you specialize a vegan plan? The great thing about veganism is it's extremely healthy for you. I think that things like that, people kind of give vegans a hard time, especially when it comes to training, because you don't get enough protein typically. I think you can easily do it with vegan. I've worked with a lot of vegan clients. I think the big thing is, don't think that just because you're eating vegan food, you're eating healthy. Or you're going to eat for your goals. You have to eat for your goals. So eating healthy and eating for weight loss or fitness or transformation or whatever are two separate things, because things like coconut oil, peanut butter, almonds, even quinoa, potatoes, rice, those things are really healthy for you. Fruit, but they're also, fruit's loaded with sugar, so if you're eating nothing but fruit, it's probably not the most practical way to get your results. If you're just eating almonds by the handful, you're getting so much fat and you're getting so many calories. So it really comes down to figuring out, what are you training? First thing is, you have to be doing some kind of physical training. You have to be kind of doing some kind of strength training. I think that that's the most practical way to get a good physique and start moving in the right direction, because it's something tangible. Doing cardio every day is not tangible, and it's harder to transform your physique like that. And then I think the second thing is you have to understand what your calories and macros are and then track them. And it doesn't mean you track them every day, but you have to have an understanding of where you're starting at and what you're doing day to day putting into your body. You can't expect to just eat whatever you want, however much you want, and get great results. I think that veganism is perfect. in the sense that if it works for you, kudos. I'm really happy for you, and I think it's admirable. But you also have to understand, first off, you have to make sure you get enough protein. You can use things like whey protein, egg whites, obviously almonds, tofu. It has some different ones that you can use, like, tofu replacements and things of the like. But it really comes down to how much of those different macronutrients you're getting, and I think that's what matters the most. So track those and put them in a good amount of fats, protein, carbs, and I think that's what's going to help you out the most. The next question, essentially, Zach Call, what steps to take after some kind of injuries and to not gain weight, not lose muscle? And it really, obviously, I'm not a doctor, so it would depend on the injury, and I'm not going to give you advice as to how to heal that injury, but I think it comes down to eating at your maintenance level. Don't eat a lot of excess calories. Don't, control your macros the most you can. Try to obviously get a little more protein, maybe a little bit less carbs, so you're not, getting too much excess if you're not training, and then do what you can. So like if you have a shoulder injury, you can train your legs, you can train your core, you can do cardio, and I think that, like, for me, I tore my bicep last year, and actually it still bothers me. So if you guys ever are gonna talk poorly about my left arm, that's why. But the thing I had to do is I had to train around that injury, and I've trained around injuries before, like with my back and my shoulder, and it's just small things like that. Now, if it's a serious injury, like a knee replacement or something like that, obviously you're going to have a harder time doing actual things. But I think that at the end of the day, unless it's something like neck or back related, there's things you can do to work around that. So if you just want to go and do side raises and go hit some machines for your arms, I think that that's more practical in looking at what you can and can't do, and just kind of build a workout routine around that. And then obviously rehabbing that injury is going to be important too, so that'll help you kind of regain some muscle. But I think the big thing is obviously diet, keep your macros in line, don't overeat, and don't be discouraged, because it's going to take some time to get back in shape. But when you're kind of facing that uphill battle, it's worth it to just take some patience. I'm going to do two more quick story time. So it's a tough one. I'll go with this one, and I'll answer one more after this. Rest days versus active rest days. So this one came from Joey Dare, I believe. I don't know why, I can't speak sometimes. True story, so this will kind of leap into other ones. My biggest thing, and I'm really good at speaking because I can't read very well. So fun fact, like, my biggest anxiety comes from not being able to read out loud. So like when I was in school, like I would always stutter, I would always mess up, like when I read in front of the class. So I just got really good at just talking. So sometimes you have to just double down on what you're good at and not really care what you're not good at. So at least that's your little story. But so rest days, active rest days, depends on your goal. For me, I do cardio on my 7th day of training, cardio, stretching abs. That's an active rest day. Rest days are obviously we take everything off, and I think that that's practical too. It depends on your goal. If you are really doing it the right way, you should be able to have rest day, and I think that rest days are something you should earn. Now, when you're in contest prep, you might end up having more active rest days, meaning that you're doing some kind of activity while also, not training your muscles. I think that most people who are just trying to get great results should train 5 days a week and maybe have 1 day of cardio, maybe 6 days a week, and have some cardio spread out in between there. I don't think that active rest days are practical for everyone. I think that if you love going to the gym, you should, by all means, go to the gym as much as you want. But I think that most people really just need a rest day, and I think you should earn rest day. I mean, you look at Dorian Yates, who's one of my biggest inspirations. He would only train 4 days a week and have 3 days of rest because that's how hard he trained. It kind of goes to preference. What is your goal, and kind of situate it like that. Last one is, I like this one. So diet options in categories. So you have ketogenic dieting, which essentially is high fat, low protein, low carb. You have, low carb, high fat, protein, and then you also have like low fat diets. I think that each one is going to kind of have its own preference and purpose. Personally, I like to go with a moderate fat, higher protein, and higher carb. I find that's where I get the best results in the gym. I think that's where most of my clients get the best results because it's more practical for everyday life. So I think when it comes down to dieting, you have to figure out what do you like to eat and then situate your diet around that. I don't think ketogenic dieting is for everyone because it's not necessarily practical as a lifestyle. I think it might be more healthy for your brain, but I don't think that it's necessarily going to lead to the happiest lifestyle for everyone. So I think that you have to figure out the food you like, figure out your end goal, and then attack what one works best for you. And that's kind of how everything goes. It's all preference based. It's all about situating around what works best for you. And that's kind of what I do for my clients, is help them figure that out. But that's kind of the baseline for different kind of categories and diets. So that came from Matt Buckley. So I want to appreciate you guys tuning in. Please leave your comments below, any of your questions that you want me to answer next week. I'm going to do this every week. I really want to kind of give you guys something back that's not just based in obviously my clients, because those are the people I work with on a daily basis, but I have a lot of people who support me through this YouTube channel, support me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I don't use Snapchat, so I guess not that much there, but it's more about helping you guys succeed, whether or not you're a client or not. And so I like doing this kind of stuff. I want to kind of give you more feedback. So please leave your comments below. I'll probably post another thing on this, like on my Instagram or on Facebook next week, but I really want to get some more feedback as to how I can help you out, what questions you have. And if I answered your questions, please let me know if this helped you out, or if there's other things you want me to go in depth on. Leave a comment below and I will answer the questions. I will, get back to you and give you as much help as I can, because it's about getting better together, and that's how we all win. So Brian Pickowicz, BP Fitness. Use the code PICKFitness at the website and you can get 30% off all our teas. And I will see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Love you guys. Boom Zeus.